Hello everyone, this is Srinipai from Acceldata Customer Success, and my today's topic is regarding ADOC SQL views. In today's video, we will discuss about what is ADOC SQL views, what are the reasons why would one configure ADOC SQL views, and what are the benefits of having the same. And in the end, we'll have a quick demo on the ADOC UI, explaining how the ADOC SQL views work. So what is an ADOC SQL view? ADOC SQL view is a virtual data asset that is created on ADOC using a custom SQL query. It allows you to encapsulate complex queries such as joins, aggregations, transformations, and treat them as they were single table. This is particularly useful in scenarios where the data you want to analyze or monitor is not available as a physical table in your database. SQL views are virtual assets which are defined by queries, not physical table. Most of the data reliability policies, like data quality, data freshness, apply for these SQL views that we create. But some policies, like schema drift, do not apply on the SQL views, as schema drift policies require a physical table structure to be created on the database. So basically, what we do is, in line with the definition of a view concept on the database side, we create a SQL view on the ADOC side, and we and then all the policies or the profiling that is run as part of the uh, data reliability or any other data policy scans that we want to run on that particular table or a view. A table or a complex transformation on top of a table is run on a SQL view rather than running it on the actual table itself. Let us discuss what are the common reasons why would one want to use a ADOC SQL view. An ADOC SQL view lets you use a custom SQL query like any other data asset in ADOC. This is useful feature when the asset you want to check for data quality is not found as a physical table or a view on your physical database. The most common reason to use the SQL views are: one, to monitor a complex join or aggregation. So instead of creating a new physical table in your data warehouse, you can write a join or a group by query and then save it as a SQL view. This allows you to run data quality checks directly on this allows you to run data quality check directly on the results of the query without having the overhead to maintain a physical table on the database side. Example: let's say that you have multiple tables for orders and customers. So what you do in this scenario is you create a view, SQL view on ADOC, joining these tables, and uh, and then you can run data reliability policies on customer order summaries. The second reason is to focus on a data subset. If you have a large table, but you only need to monitor a specific subset of that particular data, then you can create a SQL views where adding a where clause, and using the where clause you can filter the data, and and then the data policies will only run on the filtered subset records. So this makes our data quality check more faster and more focused on the data set that we want to apply the data reliability rules on. Example: if you have a global customer table, but only want to analyze, let's say, a local customer or a customer pertaining to any particular locality or any country. So we could create a SQL view, and then you could add a where clause where we filter the data only to include those customers based on their location. The next is to apply custom logic or transformations. So if we need, for example, if you want to perform transformations on your data, like say you want to change a data type you want to change a data type, or you want to combine fields or perform calculations on the data in your table, and then on top of the calculation, then you want to run your data quality profile or data policies on. In that scenario, you could actually you can use this data quality SQL views to combine your two columns or apply any custom logic, right? and run the data policies on top of it. Combining first and last name and generating a full name, and then running the policy on the full name, or having converting a data format into a standard format for consistencies. So these are the various examples that we can use here. What are the benefits of using SQL views? So, on a very high level, um, benefits of using SQL views are simplicity, reusability, and data security. SQL views simplify your complex queries by allowing you to encapsulate them in a single virtual table. With reusability, once these views are created, these views are then could be used in multiple queries, and redundancy can be reduced. Uh, Also, we can create views based on views can which will be used to restrict access to specific rows or specific columns of data, which would actually then help us to provide a layer of additional layer of security where we could actually remove any of the critical PII or personal information data from getting onboarded into ADOC. So basically, in summary, SQL views are a powerful tool for managing and analyzing data in a more efficient and organized manner, especially when dealing with complex queries or large data sets. So now let's log in into ADOC UI and we'll give a demo on how these ADOC views can be used and created. So to begin with, let's click on reliability, go to discover assets. Here you could see an icon on let's log in into Acceldata UI. Okay. Under reliability, discover assets. You see this icon here. Click on the drop down. Select SQL views. Provide the name of the SQL view that you want to provide. Test underscore SQL underscore view underscore country. Select the data source. Uh, Sorry. Okay. Let's select this data source. Let's provide a description. Here, demo. Let's select the database within this Azure Training DB. Also select the schema. Now, yeah. So we could see that because we used a string called country in the name of the SQL view, the AI engine within ADOC recommended us to use the country table. It's not a like it's you don't necessarily need to use the recommendation. You could actually anytime uh, override and use your own queries. Once we write the query here, we will preview the data. Okay, you could see the data that is being previewed. We can also alternatively write any, let's preview the data and add a filter for better understanding on the data. So let's add a filter based on country ID, where country ID is less than 10. Let's preview it. We could see that now this we only see 9 records. Let's save this SQL view. Okay. We see that the SQL view is added successfully. This is the asset for the SQL view. It is created under the same data source, the same database, and the schema that we used during creating the SQL view. Please note, no table would be created on the database side when you create the SQL view. This is specific only to on the ADOC instance. Now, we could on the overview page we can see the overview of this. We can see the SQL view. We can see the description and the query. This query could be updated if necessary, if the use cases change. Additionally, we could uh, it's a newly created view. There are no policies for it, but yes, we could create the necessary policies. As I had mentioned in the beginning of the video, schema drift was is not supported, and we don't see that option even to create this schema drift policy. But you can create other policy types like data quality, reconciliation, data anomaly, etc. Uh, Here we could also profile the data. We could view the sample data. We could see the relationships, etc. So overall, the SQL view that we create works exactly similar as any other table that we onboard from the source. Just that the only difference is that here in this, based on the use cases, we create the SQL view on the ADOC UI. Let uh, let's move on to the slides. So this was a quick demo on using ADOC SQL views and ADOC SQL views. We encourage you to share your questions with us via the comments on the video. If you are unable to respond to your comment, let's continue the conversation on our discussion forum in the Acceldata Network portal. You can see the link below. Thank you. Have a good day. Feel free to connect to us in case of any questions around using ADOC SQL use. Thank you. Have a great day.